was all up in everybody's crevices. I'm in hell. Good evening, friends and the inevitable enemy. This is going to be my worst and most disappointing books of 2022. Now, I'm going to be doing this video much differently than I've ever done my rant reviews before. I'm using the help of my little friend, whose name is Mr. Stopwatch. Mr. Stopwatch is going to give me 1 minute in order to review these books, and then I have to move on. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm giving y'all who are so tired of my long-winded rant reviews, I'm giving y'all a break. Okay, so Mr. Stopwatch is going to have your backs. And during this video, I just need you to ignore the dog snoring in the background the same way that my father ignored me when I was crying in my crib. So basically the way that this is going to work is I'm giving myself 1 minute and 15 seconds on the timer. 15 seconds to describe the book and then 1 minute to bitch about it. I'm trying to be as concise as possible. And part of the reason that I am doing this is because I have already talked about a lot of these books. I did a video titled My Most Hated Books of 2022 Part 1, and I talked about 14 books, but there is 4 new ones that got added to the hate list, and in this video I'm going to be ranking them from least hated all the way up to the #1 most hated book of the year. So I feel like that is everything that you need to know about this, the concept for this video. I'm super excited to see how I'm about to do. Already you can tell that like we're not off to a good start because here I am rambling, and I'm just gonna tell you now in case I forget later on in the video, there is a playlist down below with all of my rant reviews.
Here's your reminder. Hold the doctor on the back of my car.
And I'm just gonna tell y'all now, in case I forget at the end of this video, there is going to be and I'm just gonna tell y'all now, in case I forget by the time we reach the end of this video, I have a playlist down below in the description box with all of my rant reviews in case you wanna catch up on my saltiness. So without further delay, further preamble, let's talk about the 18 books that disappointed me the very most in 2022. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, here we go. Starting the timer at 1 minute and 15 seconds. We are going to be talking about Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Gallant is a book about this girl who is, oh my god, I'm so anxious, who is at the school and she has to leave the school because she gets a letter from her long lost dad telling her to come home to this like mysterious manor, and she gets there and nobody knows who the fuck she is, and it's about what goes down in this house, and it's supposed to be creepy and whatever. Okay, so this was one of my most anticipated books of the year. It is by one of my favorite authors, and my question for V.E. Schwab is why? First of all, the narrator for the audiobook sounded like the Crypt Keeper himself, and it just was pulling me out of the story, especially because of the age of the narrator. And I know, or not the age of the narrator, but the age of the child who is the protagonist in the book. It read like a middle grade story, which is not a bad thing if it's a middle grade story, which it was not. They literally gave us a book with absolutely no plot, literally just said Goblin Core vibes and let that be the whole book. And this is gonna be so much harder than I thought. And now we have a Nook drinking water in the corner. Thank you for providing the ASMR that I didn't ask for in this video. Those of you who are new here, you have to understand that I have 3 dogs. Yes, and here she is. Here she comes to wreck the day. So she kind of looks like a crime scene because she just came back from the vet. She had to be shaved and she had an infection. So one side of her is very bloody and scary to look at. So I promise you, she's fine, even if she doesn't look like it. Okay, you're gonna get PETA called on me. Can you please get out of the shot? Coming in at number 17, we have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and the time starts now. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo is this very self-indulgent, dark academic story about a messed up girl named Alex who goes to Yale and gets indoctrinated into a secret society, and there's magic and shit gets real, okay? It gets real and it gets paranormal. And I personally think that if I were a doctor, this is what I would be prescribing for insomnia.
What?
Look no further. If you cannot sleep, the book is right here. It is going to be the cheapest cure for insomnia that you will ever have. I tried 4 times to listen to this book before I started to think, you know what, maybe this isn't the book for me. I think I ultimately tried to read this book, sit down, actively attempted to read it 4 times. I got through, I tried so hard, but I kept falling asleep, and I am not someone who falls asleep on books easily. This book made me understand why my father gave up on being a parent. Because if he tried even because if he, this is so hard. Oh, that's what she said. Coming in at number 16, we have The Book of Night by Holly Black, and the time starts now. So this is one of the least convincing urban fantasy books that I have ever read in my entire life. This is supposed to be a story about a girl who she's got shadow magic, and shadows can do shadowy, shady shit. And in order to control things, you have a shadow, and it does spooky shit. Why am I so unable to be coherent? Oh my god. Okay, shut up, bitch. The book has such an amazing premise, such promise. It is her adult debut. Everybody was super excited about it. However, this book is the equivalent to walking down the street and you see a Snickers bar and you think, oh my god, candy, until you go over to pick it up and you realize that it's not a Snickers bar. That was my experience reading Book of Night. Damn, and I beat the time by 16 seconds. What now, bitch? Coming in at number 15, we have Very Bad People by Kit Frick, and the time starts now. So this book is basically about this girl whose mom how many times are we gonna say basically? Oh my god. Okay, this is a book about a girl whose mom attempts to kill her and her 2 siblings, but the mother dies, and the girl goes to this college that the mom went to. The school isn't a college, it's a school, and joins this secret vigilante society that's existed for decades at the school, and finds out that her mom's death may not have been as clear-cut as she thought. And basically she gets like really involved with this vigilante group. And in my opinion, this book is like going to a social justice conference, but it's just white, wealthy, straight people yelling at each other. I did not understand what these kids were trying to accomplish with their little vigilante group, and they abandoned their morals and their values even more quickly than my father abandoned me as a child. And I personally just don't see the point of the entire story, especially if you are, oh my god, I'm fucking sweating. Coming in at number 14, we have Jackal, and this is by Aaron something. This is by a human being with a last name, Adams? Aaron Adams, and the time starts now. That's what we're going to go with. This is a book about a black woman who leaves a town and goes back to the town. It's her childhood town.
Oh my god, now town is the word I'm gonna keep repeating.
She goes back to the town, and black girls are going missing in the town, and she left because black girls were going missing in the town. But now the black girl that went missing is her best friend's daughter, and she is kind of blamed for the disappearance of this kid, and something is basically in the woods and is hunting. And throughout the book, there's just so many elements that this author tried to put in that just didn't come together. This is a debut and it very much felt like one, but I think the premise is so fantastic, and I have no doubt that this author is going to do incredible things with her concepts in the future. She tried to put in commentary about missing black girls on top of having this like paranormal element, on top of having all of these dream sequences and trying to build these characters, and then have like suburban thriller conspiracy mystery component, and all of it culminated into a big shitstorm of things that just didn't make sense because they weren't fully fleshed out, and I wanted to why did I do this? Coming in at number 13, we have Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and I don't remember who wrote it. I don't care. The time starts now. Eleanor, why did I forget the name of the book? Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine is like if Zooey Deschanel Jennifer Lawrence and Frederick Bachman had a baby, and the baby grew up to be this book. 5 seconds, bam. Coming in at number 12, we have Astrid Sees All, again by an author whose name I don't remember, and the time starts now. Instead, okay, so Astrid Sees All basically is about this girl whose name is not Astrid, but she creates this kind of alter ego named Astrid who goes into clubs in the 1980s New York and tells fortunes. And Astrid is basically her like fortune telling alter ego, and she becomes very obsessed with this glamorous rich girl, and they move in with each other and they have this very toxic codependent relationship. And it's about it's one of the most ridiculous and pointless books that I've ever read, because it's literally just this girl who has plenty of resources at her disposal, refusing to use her resources and her privilege because she wants to prove to her parents that she can make it, even though she is not doing a good job. Hear me out. I just feel like the title was incomplete. Instead of Astrid Sees All, it could have been Astrid Sees All but a therapist. It could have been Astrid Sees All but red flags. It could have been Astrid Sees All but a way out of her situation. Astrid Sees All but common sense. There are so many other ways that we could have finished this book title. Coming in at number 11, we have And There He Kept Her by Josh Moaning, I believe, and the time starts now. This is a debut thriller from a gay male Minnesotan author, and I was very excited about that. I love queer thrillers, and I love thrillers from local authors. I live in Minneapolis. Hi, hello, come stalk me. And it unfortunately let me down so much. So we are following a sheriff who is new to this particular town, and he basically he is queer, but he is not necessarily out or super open about it. He doesn't hide it, but he just, you know, he doesn't run around shouting it. He's not comfortable discussing his sexual identity because he's at work. And so basically people in the town find out that he is queer and he's dealing with homophobia in this town that he's trying to protect people and whatever. And then 2 kids go missing, and so you're following the perspective of one of the missing kids, who's this girl locked up in a basement, and then his perspective. And I think I could have just saved myself a lot of time by punching myself in the face repeatedly for 5 hours. I just could have saved myself a lot of time. It probably would have hurt a hell lot of a less too. Oop, 9 seconds to spare. Coming in at number 10, we have Social Creature, and the time starts now. I think this is by Tara Isabella Burton. Fuck, the time started. Read this book, and I dare you not to laugh at the plot twist. The plot twist. Look, I've hinted about this twist for so many times, and I'm just, you know what, fuck it. At this point, I'm gonna just put a spoiler in for this book, because y'all should probably skip it anyway. It's not a good book, I'm sorry. It's just not. It's like if F. Scott Fitzgerald lived now and tried to write a quirky thriller. That's what this book is. So timestamp for when the spoiler is gonna end. The twist is that she kills the girl that she's obsessed with and then carries her body around New York City in a suitcase. So she's got the body with her on the train, and she's just shopping at Bloomingdale's carrying Karen all folded up in the fucking suitcase. God, this book was so ridiculous. Book number 9 is the Spanish, why do I keep starting it? Coming in at number 9 is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, and the time starts now. We don't really need a preamble for this book. It is the romance was everywhere. It was freaking everywhere. Jesus, when he died for those 3 days, he still heard about this damn book. That's how everywhere the book was. It was all up in everybody's crevices. And I just was like, I gotta read it because I feel like it's already inside me. So actually oh my God, I know how to review this book. Wait 1 second. I gotta make sure the timer doesn't run out. Okay, I can't review this book without milk. Oh, milk is so gross. Tastes just like Aaron Blackford. Oh my God. Milk is even worse than I remember. Oh hell no, why is there a creepy little girl on here that says milk makes it merrier? Is this from Christmas?
One hospital trip later.
Do you want, I'm just gonna put this in your bowl. Oh my god. Damn, even the dog don't want to drink it. Oh, I didn't give her the eat command. That's probably why. Akasha, come. She's so well behaved. Cute, look at her. She's so well behaved. What a good. All right, coming in at number 8, we have When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill, and the time starts now. When Women Were Dragons is the second book that I've read by Kelly Barnhill, and it follows the event called I forget what it's called, the Awakening or something, where basically the dragoning, where women just turn into dragons and then they fly away, and it takes place 50 years later, and society has adjusted to the fact that women one day just woke up and were like, fuck this, I'm gonna be a dragon. It starts to happen again, and so we're following our protagonist, who is a queer woman who is all her friends and her lover is like dragoning around her, and she's trying to figure out what to do about it. And again, with these kind of like gender apocalypse-esque stories, they're usually very trans exclusive, and I love this author so much, but unfortunately that's what happened here too. Trans people just literally did not exist. There were no mention of trans characters at all, but you had disabled characters, you had Black characters, you had polyamorous relationships, and so it just felt very, very notably absent to not have it just felt very negligent to have no trans characters or even a mentioning of transness in the story at all. Now, my caveat is that Kelly Barnhill has a kid who is trans and has said that Damn it! Next up, we have The Visitor by Sergio Gomez, and the time starts now. The Visitor is about this alien that comes to a diner when there's a snowstorm on Christmas, and everybody has to deal with the fact that there's an alien in the room. To this day, I'm just praying to the god of lost potential. Still trying to figure out what happened to this book. So much potential lost. I just want to ask Gomez, who hurt you to give us this ending? And why did the book fall apart like my parents' marriage? Coming in at number 6, we have Brother by Anya Alborn, and the time starts now. So Brother is about this family of cannibals who, let me rephrase, I'm not doing well at this. Sorry, what are you sniffing? Okay, we gotta start over. Next up we have Brother by Anya Alborn, and the time starts now. I will never get over how deeply catfished I was by this book. This book is marketed as a cannibal family of cannibals cannibaling. We had 2 scenes of cannibaling and nothing about the book. The book turns into a romance. So I just, oh, do you want more milk? No! Oh my God. The level of disappointment she feels is how disappointed I was by Brother. I love cannibals. That came out wrong. I love books that have cannibal. You know, maybe we're just gonna skip this. I'm sure my time, oh God, I still have 23 seconds. Okay, here we go. Look, so the thing about Brother that sucked was that it's about a boy who gets kidnapped and he is adopted into a family of cannibals. But the way that the book is pitched, everyone in the family is a cannibal, but that's not true. The only one who likes being a cannibal is the mom, and everyone else is just like under the mom's thumb. So basically it's just a family being held captive by their mom, and it's really whiny and, oh God, that gave me so much anxiety. Akasha, you can't have any milk. It was my mistake, okay? All right? All right, when does this even expire? Oh, February 3rd. Huh, the more you know. That was really fucking gross. Coming in at number 4, I cannot remember who wrote our 4th book, which is Kiss Her Once for Me, but the time starts now. So this is following a girl who falls in love with another girl over the span of one day on Christmas. And then a year goes by and she ends up being fake engaged to that girl's brother. And when she goes home to meet his family, she finds that, you know, she's his sister. Not she is his sister, but she is his sister. There's $2 million involved. I'm sorry, the plot of this book is so busy. It's very hard to describe in a concise way. And then there's a webtoon that she's been drawing that has their whole romance in it. And so much about this didn't work. First of all, because I have never seen a comic toon, why can I not remember the name for it? Oh my god, webcomic with so much text. And I thought it was really weird that the book would just have it in story form instead of in actual art form, because it's a comic, not a book. That was very odd to me personally as a reader. Why was everybody cheating? Why was everybody a child? Why couldn't anyone just say how they felt? Why, instead of going to Pound Town, you should have gone to Therapy Tower. That's where you should have gone. Therapy Tower. Skip Pound Town and then drive 5 simple miles over to the next county and climb up Therapy Tower. That's where both of these girls needed to go, not to the bedroom. But my timer just gave up on me. Maybe I never actually started it, so I don't know how long that was. Number 5 was actually supposed to be Extasia by Claire Legrand, and the time starts now. Extasia is the long-awaited for next novel from Claire Legrand, and unfortunately, it really let me down. It follows this girl who is a saint in this cult, and basically what saints do is they get beat up by everyone in the town during this ceremony, and that's supposed to absolve everyone from the town of their sins, and the girls like absorb it. And then when boys start getting murdered in the town, the main character leaves to go search out dark magic in order to ask the witch to stop killing all the boys in her town. And unfortunately, this book was very, very heavy on the telling, the social messaging, which obviously very important themes about controlling girls' bodies and suppressing queerness and things like that. But unfortunately, it just was so like hitting you over the head. The reader was not allowed to think for themselves at all. And then the twist in this book is just terrible. It's terrible. She introduces an element at the very end of the book that is not thought out. It seems like a plot twist for the sake of a plot twist. It was not believable. In fact, it didn't make a lick of sense. Oh my god, 3 left and I cannot wait until this is over, me having sex with men. Next up we have An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan, and the time starts now. This is pitched as Chang'e mythology meets Romeo and Juliet. Unfortunately, the couple in this book have zero chemistry. Zero chemistry. And their romance was not believable. They definitely gave platonic bestie vibes. The parents in this book all deserve to be in jail. The mom, who is a teacher, outright bullies children. They mistreat their kids, and there really isn't any accountability or discussions about how the parents behave and conduct themselves in this book. But I digress. It honestly did not have the same, I went into it expecting the same level of incredible writing that we got with Astonishing Color of After, and it honestly felt like this was written by 2 different authors, and that the second author was asleep. The ending of the book, however, saved it. I thought that the ending was so amazing, and it's the reason why I gave this 2 stars instead of 1. I wanted to love this book so badly, but unfortunately, there were just so many elements that felt not right, and the dad creeped me out. I forget. Of course, now when we're getting to the good stuff. I will say about that was a Patreon book club pick, and so there's a dedicated spoiler-filled vlog for An Arrow to the Moon on my Patreon. So if you want to hear the rest of that sentence, why I was so creeped out by the dad, definitely subscribe to the Patreon, watch that vlog, and we also have a Discord server where I talk at length about why the dad creeped me out. 2 books left and I am ready to be done with this experiment a little here. I don't think I'm ever gonna fucking do this again. I'm suffering so bad, I'm in hell. Second book that wasted my time is Grendel's Game, for which I have a dedicated hate video on. But oh my god, how did the time start? God damn it. Okay, whatever. Grendel's Game is a book about a cannibal who writes a police officer a letter confessing his cannibalism, and it is a cat and mouse situation. So this is like a thriller meets Beowulf, a Beowulf remix retelling situation. And honestly, the Beowulf element was very, very much lost. Not only upon me, but upon the author. I don't know if the author has read Beowulf. Have you read Beowulf, or did you just watch the movie with Angelina Jolie? And then did you only see the scene where Angelina Jolie gets out of the pool? Have you seen Beowulf? Why is my dog standing in the corner? Don't do that. I've seen way too many Haunting of Hill House ass movies. What? Akasha, what are you doing in the corner? It's creeping me out. Oh my god, that was so creepy. The camera died at that exact moment and it has plenty of battery. That was really fucking creepy. I do not like this. Okay, we're gonna finish this and then I'm gonna exercise my house. Coming in at number 1, I'm sorry, I was so freaked out. I'm coming in at number 1 in the books that, I can't even speak English. Why did I do this? Here we go. The number 1 book that wasted the most of my time in 2022 is none other than The Cloisters by Katie Hayes, and the timer starts now. This is a dark academic story about a girl with a fucking past, because don't they all have those, who gets this position at a museum, and she goes into the museum to accept the position and things get dark from there. I honestly decided, so this was the last Patreon book club pick of the year, and man was that a disappointment. So there's also going to be a vlog of this on my Patreon. But anyway, the best way I can describe this book and its pitfalls is this book is what happened. It's like this book had a plot, and then the plot wandered off into the woods and dropped acid. That's The Cloisters. If you wanted to just write a convoluted sex orgy, just write that. We don't even need the story. So much acid. This is like the shitty version of Tripping Arcadia. Just read Tripping Arcadia by Kit Mayquist. It's from a trans author, it's super queer, and it's 10 times better than whatever the fuck this was. Oh, thank God, my torment is over. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Do it. Yes, I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. Da, 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 I'm free. I'm free. Da, 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 I'm free. Da, 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 I'm free. All right, this was a bad idea. Some of the books that I've talked about there are dedicated videos for. Check out the videos in my, they'll be linked down below. I'm just so overhearing my own voice right now. And I also feel like I need to throw up that milk. Oh my God. If you made it this far in the video and you want to keep me from living on the side of the road in a cardboard box, check out my Patreon. If you want more shenanigans, I do have a Patreon. We do fun stuff over there. The Patreon book club pick for February is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. We're really excited about that. Our sprint guest host is going to be McKay, and the dedicated video is going to be Black Romance reading vlog, and I'm really, really excited about that. I also am very excited to be having the Be My Valentine ball, which is going to be a Patreon exclusive where myself and other booktubers get together for an hour and we just talk about things that we love, characters that we're obsessed with, character relationships we're obsessed with, our new favorite books, all things love, not just romantic but platonic, and it's going to be really, really fun. And then our movie party for February is going to be a double feature for the first time ever. We're going to be watching 2 movies in one night. One is a 9-minute short film called Canvas, and it's supposed to be really cute. It's supposed to be up on steroids. And then the second one is 7 Pounds, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm going to be live watching it with my patrons. So everybody's gonna get to see me cry at both of these movies. Akasha, yes, will be there because she always is. She basically is what my father should have been. If you want to check me out other places, I do have socials, Instagram, all of that down below. And she has an Instagram too, it's Akasha the Malinois. But without further delay, goodbye.